What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here. And SOAP has been initiated on the QUAI network. It is now activated as of a couple hours ago. So it just happened. And according to hashrate.no, ASIC miners and stuff are now extremely profitable. What is going on? Let's take a look at it. All right, so coming into the QUAI Discord, looking at the announcements, SOAP is live on QUAI mainnet. We're excited to announce that subsidized open market acquisition protocol, SOAP, just enabled SHA-256 script and Kapow mining to the QUAI network. This upgrade turns merge mining into continuous QUAI buybacks, same hardware, same mining flow, new revenue stream. The revolution is here, miners. It's time to power on. So Cubic talked about kind of doing the same thing. I'm moving over to Script and Dogecoin. It looks like QUAI just blew the gates open, and they're doing it on 3 separate chains. This is pretty insane. And as we mentioned earlier, it's making ASICs look like they're extremely profitable. I'm going to hit the refresh button to see if there's any updates. It's still the same here, but yeah, this is insane. An S23 Hydro, $111 at 12-cent power here. And here we have an L11. Let's just take a look at some of the ones we have here. In default, no, that's a Hydro. Who cares about that? L11 Pro, $40 a day, down from, up from maybe $5 a day right now, or $3. It's hard to say. Here's an L11. Let's just see where we're at. An L9, $28 a day from where we're currently sitting at like $2 a day. We're not even profitable right now on L9s. That's how bad things are going. But it looks like QUAI just blew open the floodgates. Now, how is this all working, and where can you mine it? Let's take a look at that. Now, if you do want a how to mine or anything and you love my tutorials, let me know down in the comment section and I'll try to get that going for you guys. But right now, I'm just going to show you the basics of where to do it and how to get everything and stuff. So first, you're going to need the QUAI wallet, and that is Pelagus here. And I will have this link down in the description there, but you're going to need this wallet for the QUAI network. All right, guys, so let's start with the basics. So originally, I do believe this was ProgPow. Now, this isn't the case, I don't think, anymore. There's still some hash rate on K1 pool, so I'm going to have to look into this, but I think it's switched. ProgPow did move to Kapow. It's 3 chains now instead of the 1 it used to be, and now we're looking forward. Kapow is the GPU chain at this point here. So here we can see, and for when it comes to all of them, you can see there's multiple pools for the GPU side, but when it comes to doing this, especially of multi-hardware, it's always easiest to keep it on the same pool. So I would say use Cryptex for all of them because the other pools aren't supporting script or the SHA-256. Now, obviously, if you're only mining on GPUs, then you can choose any one of these other pools. But I do want to point out, when it comes to running script for Doge and Litecoin and stuff, or Bitcoin Cash for the SHA-256 algorithm, only Cryptex does support that. So to me, if I'm using other hardware, it just makes sense to use Cryptex for all my hardware when running to this. But remember, when using just GPUs and you don't have anything else, then any one of these pools, Cryptex, Hero Miners, or K1 pool, is just fine. Now, another thing that is pretty unheard of is what they did here is when they moved from ProgPow to the 3 chains, Kapow, SHA-256, and Script, they also changed the emissions. No, they didn't cause a halving like everyone else does. They actually increased the emissions by 5x. So whatever it was before, I can't remember off the top of my head, it is 5 times more now to allow for this other hardware. So an increased emissions here, and we're also seeing a pump here in the past 24 hours because of it. So that's very interesting. Every coin decides halving and deflationary is the best thing to go about it. But when it comes to profits and miners and people talk about a coin and loving it, we need more emissions, not halvings. And here they did it, and we're seeing a pump, and we're seeing higher profitability. Miners are happy. The chain might be happy. The questionable thing is, how long will it last? But so far, this is what things are looking like. Now, the question on all of our minds is, how is this working? How SOAP works? So let's take a look at this. Step 1, miners mine QUAI and the parent chains. Miners receive QUAI. Step two is the parent token is sold and used to buy back QUAI. And step three is QUAI acquired through buyback is distributed to stakers or burned. So there is a staking mechanism stuff in here. So obviously it makes sense that people who like to chain and like to stake and stuff, they're going to get some of that buyback in return, but also a lot of it is being burned. So parent token, that is the chain that you're mining. So example, if you are here, you can see there right here. So we got some Bitcoin Cash here, Doge, Litecoin, etc. So if you're on GPUs, you're straight mining QUAI and QUAI only on the QUAI chain. Actually, guys, that is a lie. If you're on GPUs, you're mining Raven coin, not just QUAI only. So on the QUAI chain, you're actually mining Raven coin. Now, if you're using ASICs, you're mining, say, for the SHA-256, you're mining QUAI as well as Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash, which is the parent token, that is going to be sold. You're still earning the QUAI off your ASIC, but the Bitcoin Cash is being sold, and that's what's going to be burned and given to the stakers there in rewards and stuff. Same thing when you're mining on the script algorithm. The Litecoin and the Doge is the parent tokens. So you're going to be mining QUAI. You're also mining Litecoin and Doge, but Litecoin and Doge is going to be sold off for buybacks and burns to give them to the stakers and then burnt out there. So that's kind of what's going on. So the parent token is the chain that you're mining on, depending on what you're mining on. It's one of these tokens here, but you're always mining QUAI because of the extra emissions and everything. But the parent tokens are being sold to buy back QUAI and then burn it or give it to some of the stakers and stuff. So that in a nutshell is pretty much how this SOAP is working. And at the soap.QUAI.ai website, you can see actually all the blocks and everything that's currently being found. Obviously, there's a lot of Ravencoin blocks being found here, not any Litecoin yet. We got one Dogecoin, no Bitcoin Cash. We can see your total revenue so far the past 24 hours. Now, remember, this just started a few hours ago. We can see smashing Ravencoin blocks, which is being converted into QUAI and then burnt and given to the stakers. So here you can track actually everything that's been mined as well. So that's actually nice to see exactly what's going on. Now, here's another interesting. While everyone else seems to be blaming that their coin sucks on miners like Flux, miner sell pressure, and recently we saw Chlor do that the other day when I released that video, it seems like QUAI is trying to attract miners and helping the miner. So this is a very interesting thing. And also they increased the emission schedule. But why this improves miner economics? Stacked earnings. So miners keep their QUAI block rewards and benefit from subsidy chain funded buy and burns that can supply QUAI liquidity and price. No new headaches. Pools build standard coin bases and hand out standard jobs. Miners still vary the extra nonce and nonce exactly as today. Fail safes. If the subsidy chain path goes quiet or a signer sets rotates, QUAI blocks continue normally. SOAP is additive, not a liveness dependency. So very interesting there. So obviously, they have a lot of things going on to try to keep miners incentivized into mining their chain, which everyone else seems to be just pushing us away. Another thing that's actually a fairly decent deal, as Kraken is a fairly large exchange, QUAI is actually on the to be listed very soon. So they also are getting a new exchange listing to help bring in more liquidity. But in theory, sure, more liquidity is good, but it doesn't necessarily need it. As we come down into here, we can see right now MEXC already has decent liquidity of 195,000 over the past 24 hours. But adding Kraken could really open some more floodgates here. And it's looking like this is a pretty actively traded coin currently, especially compared to all the other proof of work coins that are currently out there. All right, so now say you want to try mining this or something. I'm just going to show you the brief quick down here, but Cryptex is here. I'll have a link to all this stuff down in the description, guys. But let's say you do want to mine yourself some QUAI on, let's just go SHA-256, which is Bitcoin Cash. So I'm just going to open this up right quick. We're just going to, we're in here right here. Now, the major thing here is if we look, we can see that the confirmation is actually 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. So some of us don't really like that, but for everything they're doing, we do have to wait 2 weeks before you start to see any type of reward. So keep that in the back of your mind here. And I'm curious, what if I just put in, let's say we have an Octa, what, 62 cents a day. So you can actually, those little Bitcoin solo miners there that you got there, the nerd axes there that are about 5 terahash, they're actually making about 62 cents a day right now at like 100 watts. So that's actually not too bad. If we go to 1 terahash here, so for 24 watts, you can be making about 12 cents a day. So that's actually not too shabby when you're coming into the SHA-256 mining protocol here. But I do want to point out that you do have to wait about 2 weeks before you see any type of rewards. Now, here is the stratums that you're going to use here. Obviously, start mining, put it in here. You're going to need your QUAI address and everything. Here's your minimum and max payouts and everything for that. We're just going to jump back here for a second now, and I'm going to show you the script stuff. So you just come into here, you're going to select mining pools, and then you're going to scroll down until you do find they have everything set up between ASICs, GPUs here. Here's their Kapow version right here. Obviously, we can see ProgPow is at 0 hash now because it moved over to Kapow, and that's where you start mining there. But we're going to come into QUAI script. Click on that, and then here are your stratums. And for all the stratums, it is going to be 2 weeks in order to receive your reward. So keep that in mind. It's going to take 2 weeks. So if you're in there and you're like, how come I haven't got paid in a day? How come it's been 2-3 days and I haven't got paid? It's because you do have to wait 2 weeks for those confirmations to finally come in. But this, in a nutshell, is where all your stratums and everything are found within the Cryptex mining pool. All right, guys, so there we have it. QUAI SOAP is now enabled on the network. Are you going to try it out? Are you going to start moving all your rigs over? It's looking like, at least on the ASIC side, things are looking extremely profitable. Let's just jump into right here. We can see an L9, for an example, just mining Litecoin and Dogecoin with the markets in turmoil and crashing right now. An L9 16 gigahash version is only making $3 a day after power at 12-cent power. That's not looking very good. But if we actually come into mining now, we take a look at the good old L9 here. Where's the L9 now? Coming in, L7, L11, L9, and we could see $30 a day after power, $40 before power. So things are looking a lot better because of this, and obviously QUAI is going up. Now, when it comes to the GPU side, it's still not looking good, but I still don't know if it's updated on the GPU side yet. Currently, it's saying it's like break even right now on a 5070. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I think that is wrong because the emissions are 5x more. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But at least when it comes to the ASICs, things are updated and looking extremely profitable. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on the whole QUAI ecosystem and what they're doing with this SOAP thing. Are you gonna try it out? And do you want a how to mine? Remember, links to everything and their network, the pools, wallets, everything will be down in the description, so check it out. And if you're looking for any ASIC miners, be sure to head on over to rabidmining.com. I will have links to and discount codes for all sorts if you want to get in on this before it's too late. How long it'll last, we don't know, but QUAI is here, and QUAI seems to be rocking some profitability. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out. Are you looking for ASIC miners but just not sure who to trust? From most popular brands to best sellers to miners of the week and even deals of the moment, ASIC Mining Central has you covered to the cheapest prices out of any ASIC website, as well as import fees will be low with low tax with DDP or invoice, and code RABID will grant you an additional $50 off your order. Head on over to ASIC Mining Central today for all your ASIC mining needs. Links down in the description. Now back to our regular scheduled program.